The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
Thanks to our friends over there at Righteous Felon Jerky. Go to righteousfelon.com and use promo code BELLYUP at checkout to save yourself 15% at the best beef jerky in the land over there at Righteous Felon Jerky. Let's talk a little bit of baseball. I was going to, surprised I haven't been talking more baseball since baseball season started. We did the Belly Up Super Show, then I kind of took a little, like I said, a hiatus. Thanks once again to Jim Plotner, the fan of the van. Some guy in a van just got me going today, so I'm here at 5:58 a.m. got going, but I'm happy to be back on the show. Going to get up and do a lot more of these. Actually got one tonight at the time of this recording with Aaron from Brutally Honest Sports. Going to get back on a little bit of a list with him. He's had some stuff with his work going on, so going to get on with Aaron tonight, but we'll get on to that a little bit later. But baseball, I was going to start talking about the torpedo bats a couple of weeks ago, week and a half ago, whatever it was. Almost 2 weeks, yeah, whatever it was, when the Yankees were at their home opener against the Milwaukee Brewers, and they bombed Nestor Cortez. First 3 pitches, 3 home runs. Everybody knows the story. Torpedo bats. It was all the rage. I was going to comment on it, but I thought, you know what, everybody's probably going to talk about it. And turns out it was ended up being a great big nothing burger. Turns out Nestor Cortez had a bad day. The Yankees had a good day. That's it. Because the Yankees haven't really hit much since. Pretty simple. Done. Problem solved. Torpedo bats were nothing. Bunch of parents probably went up and bought them. Probably a bunch of kids thought they were going to be great. So you have torpedo bats everywhere. It's like the Big Bertha driver back in the 90s when Callaway brought that out. Same thing. Different style, different thing. Still got to hit it. Didn't. Whatever. There's your torpedo bat explanation here at 14:20 in the morning at 6 a.m. on this beautiful Wednesday morning. There's your story about torpedo bats. You still got to hit it. Different sweet spot, but different things on the barrel, different everything. It's just a different bat. There it is. It wasn't this great Yankee conspiracy. It wasn't this great Yankee cheat code. It was nothing. You don't think the Yankees would have not asked me to make sure? Other players have been using it. Other players have been using it for years. I think Lindor over on the Mets uses one. They're scattered around the leagues. The Yankees, because they're the biggest brand in baseball, they used it. Are the Yankees in trouble right now? No, they'll be fine. They're like the games that they've lost. They ran into good pitching, and that's what good pitching is. Good pitching always beats good hitting. They ran into Skeens yesterday, or not Skeens. Struble. Yesterday in Detroit got shut out. It happens. They can play again this afternoon. It happens. It's early. I'm not worried about the Yankees. They're 7-6 right now. They get a cut. They win today. Won this series. They got the Giants this weekend. Sweep at home. They're back at 11-6. Who cares? It's fine. The Yankees are fine. I'm not like I was on the show a few weeks ago with the captain there, Captain Ryan, talking about the Yankees. They'll be fine. They're not good. Jays have a good team. Like, that's a good thing. But anyway, the few things around baseball, of course, we're going to talk about some negative stuff. We're going to talk with Aaron a little bit more tonight about this. But, man, you got to look at that team out in Atlanta. I already kind of picked them to do a little bit of damage this year, maybe win themselves a World Series. But it's man, that start that they've got off to isn't good at all. And it's hard to get out of the doldrums. When you start off poor, it's really, really tough to go. They're 2-8 right now. They started off 1-7, so 2-8 ain't a whole bunch better. But I said it before, and I'll say it again: you can't win the World Series in April, but you sure can lose it. So when you're 6 games below 500, to try to get to 6 to 8 games above 500 or 10 games above 500 to make the playoffs in that tough East Division in the National League, you got to win a whole bunch of games in a short period of time, and you just start running out of games. And if you're 2-8 and you're 6 down, and all of a sudden you're not even games in the standings, just 6 games below 500. To get to 500 is tough because you got to win 6 in a row without losing one. And that's tough to do no matter what league you're in and how good your team is, especially with the way injuries are and everything else. So the Atlanta Braves, man, they might be calling her good quick and going to the farm, making some trades and being sellers in May and June. It's crazy that a bad start like that. You start off against the red hot Dodgers, obviously. were tough, and then you end up just not getting in your own way and getting in your own way, and it steamrolls, and all of a sudden your season's over before you even started, before you even get a homestand. Really, it's crazy the way the Atlanta Braves started off. A lot of people had them. I think it was Vince. We did the Super Show here from Belly Up Sports, the Sports Stove. I think he was picking Atlanta to win, and I think I said something about Atlanta doing some damage. But it's crazy the way that's all turned out. Baseball's in a bit of a problem right now. With you look at Pittsburgh. Jim, the fan of the van, had this on his show the other day talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates, and there's nobody's there. They had 8,900 last night in their game there in Pittsburgh, which is supposed to be a beautiful stadium. Small crowds. They like their home opener was big, 27,000, and then they had. But nobody the next day. Yeah, the weather was cold, but it's the Pirates, and the fan base was booing the ownership, and it was just a really bad look for that fan, or for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And you just wonder what baseball's doing and how they're eating themselves alive. You look at the situation they have out there in Sacramento as well. I mean, we beat this one to death a little bit, but the way that the Sacramento A's, the Oakland A's, obviously, and they haven't embraced the name Sacramento. So they had 9,000 last night, I think it was, which it looks like it's full in a minor league park. There was still a lot of empty seats, and they're actually having some fire sales for ticket sales. I know, like in the baseball executive world, it's you want to get people in the building, so you start selling tickets. But the people who bought tickets already, you're alienating them, because you got 2 for $25 seats when one seat was $25. You're going to have a bunch of people pissed off, so now they're not going to come. So there's a real fine line with how that dance works. But if they're already having trouble selling tickets in a 9,000 seat building, and they didn't in Sacramento, they haven't embraced the city, and they basically said, we're here for 3 years. You're just a stop. You're a rental place. It's like somebody's building a new house. They kicked out the old one. They got a rental to stop in, and that's all this is. Baseball didn't do a very good job of vetting this, and baseball didn't do a very good job of saying, hey, we're just here for a little bit. There was no relocation fees. There was just no real plan. It just kind of happened. There's always stuff behind the scenes, but how it all turned out in Oakland, it just smells really bad. I just wish they'd find a way to end up back in Oakland and kind of laugh at the whole situation. If the major league ownerships, and they'll never do this, if ownership groups could, or the commissioner or somebody could say, hey, you know what, this isn't working, go back to Oakland. But other teams will hold the power, because if other teams wanted to do this as well, they could do it. Don't think for 1 second that if the Steinbrenner family couldn't get a better deal somewhere else, that they wouldn't get it, or if the fan base didn't start showing up at Yankee games, that they wouldn't threaten to move as well. That's why every owner said, you know what, we'll move. Like, we don't care if you guys move, go ahead and do it, because we want that same luxury as well. So it's an awful stink still over Major League Baseball, the way the Oakland thing was handled. You wonder how long it's going to last in Pittsburgh, but you look at how many how deeply entrenched the Pittsburgh Pirates have been around for a long time. But you wonder how long they're going to stick around there and lose some money. But you think about if the owners still willing to put teams out there, the owner's still willing to go out there year in, year out and spend a little bit, because he knows how much money he's getting in. That shows you how much money they're making off the TV deals, off the streaming deals, off the .com deals, and all that is. So they don't even care if they win. So it's a really bad look. I like the way the Pittsburgh fans reacted to the ownership group and the management group over the weekend, how they came out of their luxury suites upstairs and the penthouse suites and whatever it is, and the fan base was basically booing them, sell the team, get out of here, F off, in typical Pittsburgh ways. I like the way they're not showing up, and I don't mind that. Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad look on the team, and it's kind of a bad look on the fans. But I think it's actually a good look on the fans, and the fact, you know what, we're not just going to stand for this. We're not going to pay for overpriced beer. We're not going to pay for overpriced tickets. We're not going to pay for overpriced merchandise. We can watch the game from home. I can stream the game from wherever, or you know what, I don't have to watch the game. I can watch a different baseball game and not be disappointed. And I've always said that to be a sports fan would almost be a luxury, and compared to being a fan of a team. Like, if you're just a fan of the sport, like if you're a great fan of baseball, it'd be really good, because you're not living and dying with your team 162 times a year, whereas you could just watch the game and be done with it. Well, I'm done with it. Like that's it, and just watch another one. I watched 2 or 3 last night. Didn't have a dog in the fight or a horse in the race. I just watched the game, enjoyed the great game of baseball, and I watched the Red Sox game. Actually, I want to touch on this Red Sox thing for a while. They're really good, and we said that earlier on. But if you're a Red Sox fan, whoever listens to this later on, check out the streaming of Hogdale. He has a podcast, Pod by the River, with a couple other guys. They've been on this show before. That they were the Boston Red Sox centric podcast. But Hogdale does this streaming on his Twitch account. I don't know if it's up on if it's up on YouTube or not. But he streams the game and you watch it, and he does the broadcast of it. Throws out F-bomb, but he's a very passionate Red Sox fan, very emotional. He doesn't mind swearing a little bit during the broadcast, so it's a lot of fun. So if you're a Red Sox fan or just a fan of baseball in general, listen to Hogdale's rendition of doing the Red Sox broadcast. But anyways, get away from that. You just wonder how this is going to turn out for baseball. They're playing in a couple of minor league parks this year. Obviously, the situation with the hurricane down in Tampa, so the Rays are playing at Steinbrenner Field, the Yankees minor league facility, spring training facility, and that's not their fault, but it's probably a better situation considering the crowds that they got. Baseball, like, I think it's in a good spot most of the time. And then you see these things that you go, maybe it's not in such a great spot. Like a lot of these places, I know the weather's crappy in April and people don't want to sit outside, and there's other things going on, but you look at these situations where maybe the live game just isn't the thing people want to do anymore. And it's just it gets so bloody expensive, and I know they got to pay for these players, but they're still employees. You don't got to pay for these guys. And that gets me to the next point in a second about the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signing. It's crazy, but you wonder when. You wonder where it's all going to stop. And it saddens me to say that I think I do know when it's going to stop. I think it's going to stop after next season when the collective bargaining agreement comes up. There's owners they're digging their heels in, and there's players that are digging their heels in. And I think baseball is going to be in a situation where there's not going to be baseball. There's not going to be professional baseball. So get yourselves buckled in, fans, because this is a 14-20 guarantee. This is a guarantee. There's going to be a lockout, a work stoppage, whatever you want, a strike, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be ugly because there's a lot of money out there that's getting spent by certain owners. There's a lot of money out there that's not getting spent by certain owners. So there's a lot of money getting made by certain players. There's deferrals and on it goes, and the accounting and all. It's scary. But there's going to be a work stoppage in Major League Baseball, and it's going to be a long one. That's where it's going to stop because the players are sick of it, and I don't see how, because they're making more money than ever. So I don't want to say the players are being hypocritical, but they're being hypocritical. They're making a ton of dough. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just signed for 14 years at $500 million. Self-imposed. He had a self-imposed. I'm not signing. I'm not talking once the season starts. Well, it turns out when they flash 500 sheets in your face, you're going to sign it. So that was all a bunch of BS. It was just a leveraging tool that he used, and you can't blame him. He got $500 million guaranteed, no deferrals. Right? So all that did was drag up everybody else's contracts that are coming down the way. Gunnar Henderson's going to get paid because of that contract. He's going to get paid early because they're going to have to. They're going to have to, or do you just hold out because of the work stoppage is coming? Vladdy played the Jays like a fiddle. It's not like the Jays haven't spent in the past. I've said it before on this show. I've been saying it for 30 whatever years. The Jays had the highest payroll in baseball when they were in the World Series in 92 and 93. The Jays, and no matter what ownership group, when Labatt's owned them, when Rogers, Interbrew, whoever owned, the Jays have spent money. They've always tried to spend money. You know, they went outside and signed a bunch of guys when they had those 2 runs in 2015 and 16. They paid a bunch of money for those guys. You know, like when they had, what was his name? Delgado. He was the highest paid player in baseball for a few weeks until A-Rod got his deal. So the Jays haven't been afraid to spend money. They have to get people up and to come to Canada and play. I mean, then you think about the exchange rate that they got to pay. The Jays aren't afraid to spend money, and they went and did it, and they got, and Vladdy played them like a fiddle. He said, I'm the face of your franchise. I'm your best player right now. Who else are you going to get? Are you going to sell me off and then disappoint you? Now your fan base is going to be pissed off, so they aren't going to come. They're not piling into the Rogers Center right now. He played them like a fiddle, and he got paid. You can't blame the guy. Someone offered you that money, you take it. Every single person who says that's too much money, yeah. It's not the money that bothers me. I could care less if a guy made $200 million. It doesn't bother me at all. It's the term that bothers me. Like, you're paying for the first 8 years of that contract, not paying for the last 7. That's what the Judge contract too, the Ohtani contract, the Trout contract, on and on it goes. You're paying for that sweet spot. You're paying for that sweet spot of the guy who's going to be really effective for a short period of time. Otherwise, you got to pay him $60 million for the first 5 years and then nothing for the last 6. So it all evens out in the end. The money doesn't bother me. It's the term. 15 years. It's already, 26, 27 years old? The guy's 40. He's not going to be doing anything. He's going to be doing the splits at first base still. You're paying $50 million or $40 million. I haven't done the math on $35 million, whatever it is. for DH. Soto's going to be the same thing. It's these long-term deals. You can't blame the players, but you can blame the owners. Owners don't have to. Are the Jays any closer this year than winning a World Series? They're in first place right now, 13 games in. Great. They look pretty good the last couple games against the Red Sox. But are they any closer to World Series? Does anybody think the Jays are a World Series contender this year? I know his contract goes next year. And the funny, actually, before we keep going here, the thing that I laughed about is his 15-year deal is pending a physical. A physical. He's already playing for the stinking team. I haven't swore yet. It's pretty good for this show, 6:13 in the morning. He's paid. His contract isn't done pending a physical. So you wonder if the physical comes through. The long-term health isn't ready to go, but he can play this year to finish out his contract. Like, who was it? Correa with the he went all over the place. I think it was when he was in San Francisco. They said no to him. Then he went to Minnesota, and then back to that whole deal a couple of years back. But they said no, man. His legs don't have 10, 15 years in them. You wonder what's going to happen with Vladdy. If they're going to say, you know what, that big body took a lot of abuse over the years. He was packing on. He's lost a lot of weight since his rookie season, but his big body was packing around all that weight over the years. What if they go, yeah, this isn't going to work? We found out he's got a meniscus. Blah. I'm not a doctor, but if his legs are a little bit buggered up or his back is buggered up from carrying all that weight around, if they go, yeah, this 14, 15-year deal, it's null and void. He can play the rest of this year. But yeah, we decided as a doctors, we advise you guys not to. What a media disaster that would be for the Toronto Blue Jays, the Jays fans are pretty happy right now with that deal. Oh, what a wreck. I kind of hope it happens. It'd be good podcast fodder, obviously, but it'd be a very good thing to see that if the Vladdy contract got null and void because of his pending his physical when he played last night. Like it's quite funny that could actually happen. It could, pending physical. They probably shouldn't have broadcast that one to the masses for us to pick up on. But it's just a funny thing. But you look at this contract. It's too much. It's too many years. It's too many years. You pay that much for a pitcher. You pay that much for a pitcher for 7-8 years. Good enough. You know, paying that much for a guy who's going to be a DH, hit 280, 270. It's just too many years over that much time. I think it's an overpay. The money doesn't bother me. It's just the term. The term is way too long. I wouldn't 10 years. Okay, with an option and an option and an option and an option. We'll keep you around after 10. You know, do the Ovechkin thing. Every year, just granted, we'll keep you around. We'll keep you around till you're done. Get every record book in franchise history. Fill up the program with Vladdy did this and Vladdy did that and Vladdy did this. I think that would be a better option. Signing a guy for 10 years. A 10-year deal is just way too much. A 15-year deal. Sorry, is just way too much. It never works for anybody. It always turns out poor at the end. There's hurt feelings reports that get filed. Like even like when Jeter was around his last 2 years, and obviously Vladdy's no Jeter, nor will he ever will be. But that one kind of went sideways with Kaufman at the end of it. It's just it never turns out. I think it's an overpay. It's never ever going to work. It just it drove the price up for other players, and that's what the Players Association. That's what unions do. It's not a union, but that's what Players Associations do. They really just are there for the next group that comes through, because you're going to see a lot of guys get paid, and when those guys get paid, other owners are going to find out, well, we got to pay our guy too, and then eventually you end up in a situation where we're going to have in 2 years when baseball is not even going to be around anymore. It's not, and it's because of these other owners just eating themselves alive. It is. Players are going to ask for it. They can say no, right? Owner can say, no, we don't have it. You piss off your fan base, maybe, but for the greater good of the game, these owners have to start saying no, because there's teams that aren't going to survive. They're just not. You're going to have 4 or 5 teams, and there already are. There already are. Yankees are one of them. They've said no to some players over the last few years, but eventually the buck's got to stop somewhere. And if there's not enough people going through the turnstiles, that's it. Some of these teams, all they got. All it is a different business for a lot of these owners. This might not even be their top business in their portfolio. You're going to see a strike, like a work stop, like you've never seen before, because the players have been getting paid for a long time, and revenues aren't going up. Well, they are, but they're not. But the ticket sales aren't going up. That's what I was getting at. Revenues are going up because everything's more expensive, but the ticket sales aren't going up. And you're going to see a lot of players say, well, where's all the money? So they're going to have to open the books. And they say, well, there's this much more, so you could pay us more. And the owners say, well, no, we can't. 4 or 5 can, but the rest of them can't. It's going to get ugly. And this contract from Vladimir Guerrero it's the start of the end. Okay, and it's not his fault because somebody paid it. The Jays offered. They offered Soto. We said it before. They offered. I just read today that they offered Corbin Burns the biggest deal, and he didn't want to go there because he went home to Arizona. They offered Ohtani a big. They offered they matched that deal the Dodgers gave him. Everybody who's been up there for anything right now has been offered money by the Jays. The Jays aren't afraid to spend money. But this one is going to turn out bad for baseball, and this one's going to start the beginning of the end for baseball, and it's going to open up a lot of eyes that it's the owners that are just eating themselves, and the players are going to go keep paying us. You could afford it last week. You're going to afford it next week. This is the beginning of the end for baseball. It's sad to say because I like you guys know I love it so much, but what are you going to do? Turn on a minor league game, turn on a Leopards Bulls game, turn on college games, whatever it might be. They'll always be baseball. Just different kinds. Anyways, that's thanks once again. Thanks everybody for listening this morning. Those who tuned in bright and early, the 14:20 in the morning, 1420 Sports Bar podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Just coffee this morning. It's 6:18, but I got a baseball team to go and run, and got a lot of stuff going on there at Spitz Stadium. Bullhorn, we're gonna do one of those probably today. Talk with owner Kevin Kawami about some stuff about the season coming up, and then is the Leopard Sports Hall of Fame induction. Then we're doing another sports podcast tonight with Aaron, so I'm jumping right back into it. Got a lot going on. Aaron from Brutally Honest Sports, going to jump in with him, talk some baseball and whatever else might be going on. Once again, thank you very much. My guy I've never actually met, I've only talked to on the podcast forum a few times, but to Jim, fan of the van, for the inspiration this morning to get up here and do this again. I always love coming on here, but Jim, thank you very much. As always, we appreciate the shout outs you give me. Like I said, listen to Hogdale if you're a Red Sox fan, listen to his streams. Thank you, Deanne, for kicking me in the pants to get me myself doing this again, because I see by smile on my face if you're on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel too, either the Belly Up one or my own 1420. But yeah, thanks, Jim, fan of the band, for giving me that kick in the pants to get motivated to come and do this. I really appreciate all that you do for all the podcasters out there all over the world, really all over North America. Jim's always saying a lot of good things about a lot of good people. So anyways, that's it. Get out of here with a getting's good. Got a baseball team to run. And remember, everybody, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Have a great day, folks. Go out there and slay them. Cheers.